This is a 4x4 Sierra Cosworth, running a relatively punchy 400 sort of area horsepower, T34.63 turbo, grey injectors, one of our engine harnesses, Group A coil, and apart from that, all the engine sensors and so on and so forth, they're all standard. We've been working on, for a little while now, a plug-in and play solution for the ECUs. Unfortunately, the one that we've been trying to do in the original case hasn't quite worked out. We haven't had the time to develop it properly, haven't had the chance to do the reliability testing. And as a lot of you probably understand, there's a lot more modern ECUs coming out that people are tending to switch over. So basically, we've been looking for a solution that works with one of our harnesses, or an original harness that's in very good condition. We wouldn't recommend it on an old kind of aged wiring harness, but we've come up with this essentially adapter loom. You'll have to excuse the looks of it for a moment because it is our development harness, but essentially it plugs into a standard Weber plug and basically then goes into, on this instance, a Link Monsoon X plug. Onto a Link Monsoon, so it allows you basically to plug in and play a Link Monsoon into a normal Cosworth harness. The great thing is it also allows you to use just the original engine sensors, so you can start with just an atom, use the normal map sensor, and we can configure it that way, or we can go right the way up to adding bits and pieces on, switches for fans, things like anti-lag launch control, all the bits and pieces that this will do as standard. We can essentially incorporate that in, run the original engine harness off of this, and then just add the extra bits through. So it really is the kind of next level of an aftermarket ECU without having to pay the full package costs. The biggest thing that you'd have to look at would be just changing the injectors for high impedance, something like, for example, the Bosch 1000ccs or Injector Dynamics, something along those lines. But as we all know, you probably can sell the original Bosch items for as much as the new injectors cost anyway. So it really is right at the heart of a performance upgrade, modernisation of your ECU, modernisation of your Cosworth, but at a price that's much more affordable than the £2,500 packages that are out there. So yeah, definitely looks to be the way forward. We're about to give you a bit of a demonstration. Okay, so for the purposes of our demonstration, standard Weber L8 ECU. Like I say, in the bay, all standard sensors, standard ignition setup. So just so you can see that the car is running as we'd expect. Sounds lovely. One of our chips, one of our harnesses. And what I'll do now is I'll just swap this out. Take care with that one. And then we'll plug the new one in. If per chance your Weber ECU is running wasted spark, then again it's something that we can put into the calibration with this one. Before we go and start this, we'll just state a couple of bits. So it does have its own map sensor, but we are, for the purposes of the demonstration, showing that it will run off the original Weber one. And also, this isn't actually calibrated. This is just the closest thing that we could find to put on it at the moment with 500cc injectors. As I say, we would highly recommend one of our harnesses or an aftermarket good condition harness, and then the injectors would need to be swapped over to something like the Bosch's. But yeah, let's start. She's up and running. Literally, as you see, we just swapped it over on the plug, and here you can see the data outputs that the Link is giving us from this Sierra. And that's essentially it.